Hi everyone, this is day 4, Notes for Geometry. This is points, lines, planes, and segments. In our warm-up, they're asking us to go ahead and draw a triangle based on that symbol there. So we're going to go ahead and draw a triangle. And where these two sides come together, they form a point. And that point is going to get labeled with a capital letter A. Where the other two sides meet, we could go ahead and call that B. And the other two sides, we can call that C. We labeled in a clockwise manner. However, the points could be labeled counterclockwise, where if we keep this A, this could have been B, and this could have been C. If we continue on, they tell us to say that between A and B, which is this side right here, is 5x minus 13. BC is 2x plus 3. So between the letters of B and C, this side is 2x plus 3. Sides in a triangle or any figure always go on the outside of the figure, whereas if they give us expressions for angles, they go inside our figure. Last side is CA or AC, either or, and it's 4x minus 2. Then it says if the perimeter of a triangle is 21 feet, find the value of x. Perimeter is the distance around a figure, and you find perimeter by adding up the length of every side. We don't have the length of every side, but we have an expression for every side, and so we're going to go ahead and add up those expressions. Once we have it written down, we're going to go ahead and combine our like terms. That ends up being 11x. And that ends up being negative 12 equal to a 21. We're going to go ahead and add 12, and we end up with 11x equal to a 33. Then we're going to go ahead and divide each side by 11, and x comes out to equal 3. And that's what the question wanted. They wanted to know the value of x. And so we went ahead and found that. We could also still plug in and find the length of each side. So for instance, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. The side would be 9 feet long. The side on the bottom would be 4 times 3, which is 12, minus 2 is 10 feet. And the last side here, 5 times 3 is 15, minus 13. This side would be 2 feet. And if you wanted to double check, if you take those 3 numbers that we just found and add them together, it would equal 21. And so that's a great check. Geometry is a branch of math that's concerned with properties, position, mostly measurement is we're going to focus on this year. Relationships of points, lines, angles is another thing we're going to really focus on this year. Planes and solids. The following terms are some of the most basic vocabulary words used in geometry in which so many other ideas rely on. Everything in geometry can basically be broken down to a point, line, and or plane. For instance, our triangle in our warm-up is made up of 3 points, actually infinitely many points along those sides, but 3 major points where the sides come together. We can think of it as 3 lines or 3 line segments. And a triangle is a flat figure, also known as a planar figure. And we're going to go ahead and explore a little bit more down below. First one up, most basic, is a point. A point names a location and has no size. They say a point is so small, even though we could draw points big, they're not said to be drawn big. They're just super duper tiny, like a speck of dust. And therefore, we cannot measure its length, we cannot measure its width, and we cannot measure its height. And so a point has 0 dimensions. A point is represented by a capital letter. And so this picture right here, we would say that that's just capital P, which is a point. Just like in our warm-up, we had capital A, capital B, and capital C representing our points. And so the triangle was named triangle ABC. A line is a straight path that is made up of infinitely many points and has no thickness and extends forever. And that's why in algebra, your teacher used to let you know that lines should always have arrows on the end. A line is one-dimensional. It has length. A lowercase letter or 2 points on the line will name it. For instance, this little cursive letter off to the side, we could name this line L, or we could go ahead and take the 2 points that are on it and we could put them in either order, so RT or TR, but because it is a line, we put the line symbol over the 2 letters. Okay. A plane. A plane is a flat surface that's made up of infinitely many points and has no thickness and extends forever. A good idea of a plane is like a sheet of paper because it's paper thin. It has no thickness to it. However, a piece of paper doesn't extend forever in all directions. But a piece of paper, if you think about the dimensions of it, 8.5 by 11, that is two-dimensional. It has a length and a width. They picture a plane over here, although it's not the greatest example because this side here, these 4 sides actually shouldn't be there. Planes go on forever. They don't end there, but that's hard to draw. They could use a cursive letter in the corner and call this plane P. Or they could go ahead and pick any 3 letters on the plane as long as they're not all on a line. Otherwise, you'd be naming a line. And we could call this plane ABC or plane CBA or plane BAC. The order of the letters does not matter. Down below, we're going to go ahead and look at segments. A segment is a portion of a line, and it consists of 2 endpoints and all the points in between them. So you have to remember that even though you only see 2 points, there's infinitely many points on this line. And then there's more points in between those points and more points in between those points. So even though you only see 2 endpoints, there's infinitely many points. And we could name that line segment as either AB with the bar above it that represents a line segment versus a line, or we could go ahead and name it BA. Okay. Flipping onto the next page, and we'll continue another video in just a second.